So today we will be starting a new series of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So with time we will be releasing some new videos, but this is the first introductory video. This is for absolute beginners, and this tutorial will be from complete beginning. You will learn from scratch on how to create a machine learning model or an artificial intelligence model on your own that will be able to predict and make accurate predictions. Not 100% accurate, of course, but yeah, we'll try to make it as accurate as possible. So let's begin. In this video, you will learn about the definition of AI and ML, applications used behind it, the importance, what tools you will require, which programming language you will require, what is the environment that you would require, and the libraries. So let's get started. So first, what is definition of artificial intelligence and machine learning? So artificial intelligence refers to development of computer system that can perform tasks that would typically require a human intelligence. Now, for example, you may have heard of self-driving cars. In those, we use artificial intelligence models, machine learning models, so that it can mimic the behavior of a human without any human interference. That is what artificial intelligence is. Now, what is machine learning? Now, people mostly confuse it to be a separate thing than AI, but machine learning is a subset of AI that focuses mainly on the algorithms and models that enable the machine to have that intelligence to learn and make predictions on their own. So now some applications. These are some widely used applications of AI and ML that we use on regular basis, like image and speech recognition. So image recognition is the process of identifying and classifying objects, people, or features within digital images. Now, for example, say you have two pics, one of a cat and one of a dog, and you ask your AI model to make predictions on the basis of the image you provide. Now, if you'll use conventional programming, it will take a number of complex overlay programming lines, code of lines, which will be very complex, and if there is even a slight error, you'll have to change the entire program. So this is where AI ML comes in. It makes it easier. We can use algorithms, and the beauty of this is you don't even have to write those algorithms on your own. There are libraries, you just have to import them, you have to learn how to use them properly according to your own need. So image and speech recognition, natural language processing. For example, if you are an iPhone user, you might have a Siri, or if you are an Android user, you'll have the Google Assistants. The way you talk, the way you communicate, your voice, your pattern of talking, catching those patterns, converting it into a language that your machine can understand is natural language processing. Recommendation systems, for example, you use Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, or any other streaming platform or a music platform. Based on your search history, based on what you listen, it will recommend you movies, shows, songs according to your interest. It will learn alongside your searches. That is how a recommendation system works. Predictive analytics, for example, I have a data set and I use it to train a model to say I have a data set of the weather for the last 30 years or the last 50 years. So based on the data set, my model will make predictions on what the weather is going to be tomorrow or today or within 2 hours. Autonomous vehicles, as we have mentioned before, self-driving cars also use AI and ML. Now the importance of AI ML, advancement in technology. So as everything alongside us is advancing and we can see it, AI is increasing drastically and people are using more and more, people are getting more and more tech driven. So it's better to be with the flow rather than against it. So there is going to be, and there is a high boom in this sector of AIML. Next, the business impact and competitive advantage. So AIML has significant implications for businesses, providing opportunities for increased productivity, cost reduction, and revenue growth. Organizations can leverage AI and ML to gain insight from data, automate processes, personalize computer experiences, and even make data-driven decisions. Societal impact and ethical considerations. The widespread adoption of AI and ML technologies raises important ethical consideration. Issues such as privacy, you might have heard. Now, say people commit some kind of fraud, they use your face in it. That is how they breach their privacy. So, we need to be socially and ethically careful of how we use the people's privacy. Next, getting started with AI and machine learning using Python. So first we'll start with the introduction to Python. So what is Python? As everybody knows, Python is a programming language. It is a high level interpreted programming language known for its simplicity and readability. So as I mentioned before, the beauty of AI and ML is that we don't need to write the algorithms. There are Python libraries available. We just need to import it and use it. And some very famous libraries are scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, NumPy, Pandas, and many more you'll learn along the way. So let's dive into it. Now, first of all, you need to set up the development environment. Now, for AI and ML tasks, we don't use normal IDEs like Visual Studio Code because we need graphs and we need each and every line of code to run separately. So instead, we use Python notebooks that we can use using either Jupyter or Google Colab. Now, basic concepts in AI and machine learning. So there are mainly three parts. First part is data representation. Second part is variable and data structure. Third part is basic data operations and manipulations. We'll learn about these as we move ahead. So for now, let's just keep it to that. So now some algorithms in Python. These are the 5 major supervised learning algorithms. So let me give you a brief. There are 2 types of algorithms that we have in Python, actually 3: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and deep learning. So we'll start with supervised learning algorithms. So these are the ones you can see. First is linear regression, second logistic regression, third decision trees, fourth support vector machines, and fifth random forest. We'll learn about all of them in the coming videos. Now for unsupervised learning algorithms, we have these algorithms available: k-means clustering, principal component analysis, hierarchical clustering, association rule learning, Gaussian mixture models or GMMs. Now working with real world dataset, how does it work? How does creating an artificial intelligence model work? What you do is you get either you find the data. For example, let's just say for practice purposes, you can get large number of data sets on Kaggle.com. If not, if you are working in a company, they'll provide you with the data set to create the model. So say you have a data of 1000 pictures of dogs and 1000 pictures of cats. Now you need to make a model that will recognize that once you provided the video, it will tell you if it is a dog or a cat based on the physical features of that particular image. Because obviously dogs have different features, cats have different features, and we can see that, but to make a model learn is the main task. So what we do is, first we gather the data, we take the data, we clean the data. How we clean it is we convert the images into numerical data for our model to read and for our model to understand. Then we split our data into training and testing components. How that is done is we usually split the data into a ratio of 70 to 30 or 80 to 20. 80% goes for training, 20% goes for testing. And finally, after the testing, we check the accuracy of our model. So exploratory data analysis, statistical analysis of data. So statistical analysis helps in understanding and distribution and characteristics of the dataset. Techniques such as mean, median, mode, variance, and correlations are used for statistical analysis. Feature engineering and selection. So, feature extraction methods use PCAs, which are principal component analysis, and singular value decomposition, SVDs. These are mainly used for the feature extraction. Feature selection we do by using recursive feature elimination, RFE, and lasso regulations are commonly used. Now model training, evaluation, and deployment. As I told you before, we split our dataset into a ratio of either 70 to 30 or 80 to 20 for the purpose of training and testing. Now, for example, the 70% data I split for training, I feed my model for it to learn, and the rest 20% I use for our testing purposes to check the accuracy of the model, how much it learned. Now, model deployment, exporting and saving trained models. So after training and evaluating the model, say the accuracy you get is good enough and you can make it work. So now the next step is to export and save the model for future users. So the model can be exported in various file formats, so some of which are JSON, pickle file, or an H5 file depending on the framework used. Advanced topics. So deep learnings and neural networks are some topics that we'll be covering far along the series, because these are very advanced topic and you need a good system, a strong powerful system to work with these, because they take time. So we will be doing introduction to deep learning. We'll learn about CNNs, convolutional neural networks, GANs, generative adversarial network, neural network architecture, and RNNs, which is recurrent neural networks. Reinforcement learning. Okay, so reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning that focuses on training agents to make sequential decisions. It involves an agent interacting with an environment and receiving feedback in the form of rewards or penalties. So the summary of what we have learned today. So what we have learned so far is, for AI and ML to work, you need to have an environment, either a Jupyter notebook or a Google Colab notebook. We will use Python along the videos. We will use libraries. We have seen the algorithms. We will learn about those algorithms, and we will learn about each one of those algorithms separately, properly understand how they work, and we will create our first machine learning model that will be able to predict data, that